Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning into a Supatease video. And it's finally happened. Right before we sunk beneath the sands of Tolvaran to destruction warlocks, PvP changes have been engaged onto live servers. And first of all, we're just going to be looking at the warlock ones, of course. Soul Leech has effectively been nerfed by 50%. This is one of those abilities that just kind of heals the warlock for existing at all times. So it's been nerfed by a massive amount because it heals them at all times. This is a huge change in terms of being able to apply damage over time effects to destruction warlocks, even just target them in general. Pretty massive change, even though you might think like, oh, 4% down from 8, that's not much, but this is easily maybe 30 to 40% of their healing in a game, and it's being cut in half. This is a massive change. Also, along with their defense, some of their offense is going away. I'm sure that if you've been playing BFA at all, when you're attacking a Destruction Warlock that's got full Expedient and 3 Flashpoint Azerite traits, yeah, their casts are a little bit fast. Like, so fast that even if you try and kick it, you end up missing it. So, bringing down their haste a bit in terms of offense and bringing down their durability, I think, was a wise decision, as Destruction Warlock was so powerful that often you would just play double Destruction Warlock and a healer. So to me, this is kind of a necessary change. It is unfortunate that as collateral damage, specializations like Affliction and Demonology take a hit when they were already just kind of like not good or kind of meh. So it would have been nice to see some buffs to Affliction Warlocks in compensation. Maybe not their defense, maybe even their offense a little bit, so we could start seeing some more spec diversity, because right now it's been pretty much only Destro. And this is, even though Destro is getting nerfed, it's still certainly going to secure the fact that Destro will remain as the predominant Warlock spec. Moving down to items. Now, not only did the durability of Warlocks go down, the durability of basically every melee DPS along with it, because the Lingering Psychic Shell, if you had it, you were pretty much playing it every game because it was pretty much an ice block on a 1 minute cooldown against magic damage. And so, even though Destruction Warlocks, they're getting a little bit softer, one of the big counters to Chaos Bolt and Greater Pyroblast is also basically being removed. It's still possible that you may run it even into Mage Warlock, even at 70% reduction, but that is yet to be seen. So just note that, the long extended games, they say even here at the bottom, these changes are to reduce the number of long stalled out matches. So it's not just Destruction Warlocks that were stalling stuff out. It was still some of the melee trinkets as well, like this one for sure. So it's good to see this one get out of the way. Another thing that was contributing to the long games, the Vitality Conduit. So basically, this is a 45-second cooldown essence that you activate on a player, and they start siphoning life from another target that's higher health. And because there's so much healing in the game right now, normally that would be a downside, right? Like you get to heal the target that's critically low, but it's taking health from the other player, so now you gotta attrition your heals out to 2 targets. But there's so much healing in the game that the other target that was getting siphoned usually just sustained itself, so you just got to lay on hands the target for free every 45 seconds. A 35% reduction to it. I'm not sure if it means that at the highest level games will end before dampening. Certainly below like the top rank 1 range or gladiator range, even games are likely to end very quickly at this point. It's a bit worrisome to me because Vitality Conduit was basically making it so Shaman and Druid to an extent could play the game, because Druids are having a significant problem running out of mana. Vitality Conduit bought them more mana, and then Resto Shamans basically don't heal at the moment, other than using Ghost Wolf. They rely on their teammates to heal themselves. They often play with Death Knights and Demon Hunters and Windwalkers because those classes heal themselves so much, and then they would use the Vitality Conduit to sort of spread that healing out. So you may think that, oh, this is going to bring down the strong healers like Paladin or Monk, But in reality, I think it's bringing down the weak healers harder. And even something like Discipline Priest, when they're playing the jungle cleave and they're relying on Leader of the Pack healing from their Feral Druid and Spirit Bond healing from their Survival Hunter to sort of heal in between. Those three specs, I think, get hit harder by Vitality Conduits being nerfed. I still think that Vitality Conduit should be nerfed, but the discrepancy between Paladin Monk and Priest Shaman and Druid is likely larger as a result of this change. And now moving down to the corrupted items. Ineffable Truth will no longer work with the cooldown of Gladiator's Medallion. Basically, Holy Paladins are the only, maybe Paladin in general, you could be doing. I've seen Prop Pallies and maybe even Rep Pallies in the future. Ineffable Truth making their Trinket a reduced cooldown. Right now, Ineffable Truth makes Paladin at a point where it's kind of like, I'm stunned, I might die, I'm pressing Divine Shield because it's going to be back up. And then the next stun, I'll Trinket, and the next shield, I'll Bop, and then the next shield, I'll Bubble. And then so just always have an answer. This could leave a hole. I say could because I'm not sold on it 100%. The reductions in cooldowns of their Avenging Wrath and their Divine Shield and their Blessing of Protection are still so potent that I'm not sure if even only the Gladiator's Medallion being effective will change very much here. It is still a slight nerf, but not by that much, at least in my opinion. So good changes overall. I do think that it is going to lower the duration of a lot of matches, but I also think that it has created a larger gap between the best specs and the worst specs. And this is mostly within the healers. Like I said, it also puts Rogue Mage on a very high tier because Rogue Mage would be struggling with Destruction Warlocks, which they'll now more easily kill. Rogue Mage would also struggle with the tank trinket meta, which Lingering Psychic Shell was. And Rogue Mage would also struggle to kill through multiple cooldowns rotating, which is Vitality Conduit. So these nerfs all indirectly buff Rogue Mage when Rogue Mage was arguably a top tier comp, right? In tournament play, Mage Lock has been dominating a lot, but I would argue that Rogue Mage was also one of the best comps in the game, and all of these indirectly buff Rogue Mage. So we'll have to wait and see how the meta sort of shifts from this point. My recommendation would be to pick up Rogue Mage and start playing Rogue Mage Paladin, maybe Rogue Mage Priest. And I think Jungle also got a lot stronger with these changes as well, but not so much as Rogue Mage Paladin. It's mostly the Paladin, right? So Holy Paladin, I think, still is likely the go-to healer, at least on the ladder, with Mistweaver being a strong follow-up. It's just that Mistweaver doesn't bring the damage output and the crowd control potential that a Paladin has on top of the massive healing that it's got. But regardless, I'm glad to see some changes here to shake up the game, because I'm sure, as all of us have been playing, that some of these matches get a little bit damp. So I'm excited to play with these changes. If you want to see it all play out, you can watch me on my stream, twitch.tv/Supatease, and I'll put that in the description down below. Of course, I found these patch notes on Wowhead, so if you want to check them out, I'll leave the link to Wowhead in the description down below. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free. It helps me out a lot. And please leave a like and a comment if you want to leave your opinion of the changes here. Again, my goal of the channel is to be a resource for everyone to benefit from, really, in terms of improving in mostly PvP, but I am trying to expand into more avenues of the game as well. And that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.